Prepare yourselves for a battle of epic proportions between two titans. Feast upon their voices and revel in their words. This is Dueling Ogres.
Hello, Ogres, and welcome to episode 128. Thank you for joining us, as always, on this Porged Thursday evening, Earth date October 12th, 2017. I'm your host, Remington Hitchcock, and with me, as always, my co-host, Brandon Full. Say hello, Brandon.
Hi, Remington. Is it okay for me to fucking talk now?
No, it's not. Yes, it is. We started the show.
I'm trying to talk too. Oh, we're doing a show now?
Yeah, the show was started.
Okay. I was just going to be passive-aggressive more.
Oh, okay. What?
Cool. Okay. So
no, I changed the word because I don't ever want to give you an inch.
What did you change the word to?
Porged.
So why'd you pick porged?
Because that's the name of the little guy on the new Star Wars thing that we're going to talk about here in a minute.
Wow. We really made a good connection.
We made it.
This show's great and everybody should feel great about it.
Everybody will have a good time.
Let's not cut in Queen again.
Thumbs up.
Yeah.
Having a good time? Yeah. We won't.
So I've done nothing of note this week, so don't even ask me. There's nothing to talk about.
Thank God I haven't done anything either.
Well, make something up. Let's both make something up because I have like 2 news stories, so we really got to pad this motherfucker out this week.
This is going to be tough. This is going to be a real tough one, Brandon. We're going to have a real good time. You know, it might be a shorter episode, but that's okay. You know, sometimes you just got to put out garbage. Sometimes you got to air the laundry and put out the trash.
See, I don't know if I really feel like that's a good business strategy for the podcast.
This is just going to be a trash show.
Okay, do you think it's better to put out a show, even if it's not great, because we've put out something?
I think that most of our shows are great. I don't, very rarely do I ever think that, like, listening back to them, like, this is just a fucking awful.
We have had them before, though, right?
I mean, sure. But I'm the one who's editing it, so I can always make it sound better. Yeah.
But you can't make it more interesting.
I can't leave that in there.
Yeah.
No, I mean the ones where I'm the one who has most of the stories. Those are the ones that are bad. Because I'm not very interesting.
Well, I think the problem is that you tend to stick a little too much to just reading the article straight.
Yeah, I do. Mm-hmm.
You have to make it your own.
Yeah, I do that in writing. I don't do that so much in speaking.
What, make it your own?
Yeah.
Well, you add in a lot of like racial, like really strong racial stuff.
Really? This is where we're going again?
So that's what I kind of fear. I guess it's better that you do
always
read
with the racial
straight.
Stuff, never with the sexist stuff.
You sound like a fucking NWA record when you start reading news stories in your own voice, Rem. I just want to slap an explicit tag right over your mouth.
Wow.
And in this political climate, it's terrible.
You are just worst friend.
Dude, we don't have anything. I'm falling back on the old faithfuls. You're fat, you're racist. Haha, boobs.
Oh, wow.
Do you want to just get right into news stories then? Unless you haven't done anything. Have you done anything at all interesting?
Yes, I have.
Okay.
But now I don't know if I could follow it with what I was going to talk about.
Did you get those giant woodworking crosses built? Because I can see how that would be awkward to talk about now.
No.
It's for an Easter recreation, Brandon.
Still working on those.
All right, so what have you been up to?
Got to make sure that the blood's authentic.
For Easter.
For Easter's sake. Mm-hmm. I haven't been really doing anything. I worked from last week and nothing exciting. Not at all. I did get a couple of things done, but again, it doesn't seem like a good place to follow up that I, got more partners and stuff on our podcast after all of that.
Yeah.
So maybe we'll just worry about that later.
We'll give the partners a little bit of space, and we'll talk about that a little bit later.
That's right. We'll do that later. So
I mean, Remington, you're not racist. It is a joke.
It is.
You're sexist, yes.
Yes.
Racist, absolutely not.
Right.
Misogynist,
a little bit.
You do talk about the Zionists overthrowing us quite a bit.
See, I don't. You know what? I don't even really know what the definition of a Zionist is.
A Jew.
Is it?
I'm pretty sure that that's what it is, yeah.
Are you just making things up?
No, because I think Zion refers to the Holy Land. Because if you're anti-Zion...
Zionism after Zion is
the hill of Jerusalem on which the city of David was built.
Yeah. Is the national movement of the Jewish people that supports the reestablishment of a Jewish homeland in a territory defined as the historic... Okay, well, I've learned something today.
A Zionist is a supporter of Zionism, a person who believes in the development and protection of a Jewish nation in what is now Israel. I knew if people said that you're anti-Zion, you're anti-Israel.
Ah.
But I feel like we're getting into territory that neither of us know fucking anything about.
This is
especially
true.
When it concerns Israel, so we should just stay away from that.
We should stay away from Israel?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, no, I don't know.
Is that what you're saying?
I could strongly say that I know so little about what the situation is in Israel that I can't even have an opinion.
Yeah.
Because I don't know what's happening there.
Sure you can, Brandon. Opinions are like assholes. Everybody can have one.
And you can finger them.
Yeah, you can finger your opinions.
So what's the story? What's news?
Oh,
Make
shit.
sure to click our affiliate links at duelingogres.com.
Oh, God. Holy poop. I missed this one. Okay, this one's a little breaky.
What you got?
A little breaky news. We kind of talked before we started that we weren't going to talk about the Weinstein thing.
Yeah.
But
we're going to talk about the Weinstein thing.
For a hot second, we're going to talk about it because there's been a lot of things that, if you're following other news, I'm not going to get into the full blown thing about it. If you want to go see that, check out, fucking Philip DeFranco or any other news place. So Harvey Weinstein, whole bunch of ladies coming out saying that he's basically a gropey, sexy, perverty, touchy feely. I've got power, so I'm going to, figure you without you letting me.
God.
Yeah, he's pretty awful.
So who was Harvey Weinstein exactly? He was like a very high up executive, right?
Yes.
For like the Weinstein Company?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, he's a producer and executive. He co-founded Miramax. This is from Wiki, and was part of the Weinstein Company. And it started coming out that he had used his position of power as a Neanderthal-looking ogre of a man. Not the good kind of ogres like we are, but the bad kind. The
duelingogres.com.
The rapey kind. And I don't think anybody has properly accused him of rape, but sexual assault. Seems like.
Yeah.
So anyway.
Oh, wow. He is kind of an ogre-looking guy, huh?
Yeah, he is. So anyway, there have been several people who have come out and said, some of it has been that some people in Hollywood didn't know that this was a thing with Harvey. Some people did know that it was a thing with Harvey. Some people were kind of playing it was a known secret, quote unquote, a known secret that he would do these sorts of things. And then what prompted me to go ahead and talk about this is that Ben Affleck weighed in on it, condemning Harvey's actions. And then, as is true of anybody in Hollywood in this age of information, somebody backtracked to Ben Affleck being sexually explicit with different girls in interviews or grabbing somebody's breast and yada yada, and being kind of a shithead, you know, many years ago from the looks of it. Now that doesn't excuse the behavior, but as younger people, we tend to be more douchey.
And Ben Affleck's pretty douchey anyway.
Yeah. And yeah, like I said, that's not an excuse by any stretch. I don't want it to come off as it, but just when we're younger, we tend to think that we're untouchable and that we can get away with things that we can't. And even back in that time, it was a lot less likely that those things would come to light and be a problem, like a public problem. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, and on top of that, I guess his brother has some sort of sexual assault thing going on.
Yeah, Casey Affleck has had that ongoing for a bit.
Yeah, exactly. So there's part of what has prompted me to talk about this. This is a little more background information. Rose McGowan has been chiming in back and forth and being a kind of a proponent for the women against Harvey Weinstein. She's been fairly vocal about it, talking about some of the things that happened with her, and then that prompted other ladies to come out, and then Affleck chimes in, and then she calls him out for his previous bullshit on Twitter, right?
Rose McGowan?
Yes.
Okay.
And then Twitter suspended her account.
Suspended her account?
Yes.
Why? For breaking the TOS, for like being inflammatory or something?
We've determined that this account violated the Twitter rules, so we've temporarily limited some of your account features. While in the state, you can still browse Twitter, but you're limited to only sending direct messages to your followers. No tweets, retweets, or likes. Your account will fully be restored in 12 hours. You can start your countdown and continue to Twitter once you delete the tweets that violate our rules. So the tweets in question, she told Ben Affleck to fuck off.
Mm-hmm.
That was one tweet, and then in another quote, she said, "God damn it," or she said that he said, "God damn it, I told him to stop doing that. You said that to my face. The press conference I was made to go to after assault. You lie." You know, it came out that Affleck had grabbed Hillary Burton's breasts during an appearance on MTV's Total Request Live in 2003. Once that came out, he apologized. And, you know, we can all realize that we do wrong. And that's one thing that I think is important, is that when something comes to light, the general consensus of the public is that, oh, he did this thing and he never apologized for it, but now he's apologizing because it's become public. You know, there's a lot of stuff that goes on in a normal person's life. I don't remember some of the shitty things that I did back in the day, but somebody might.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I think that his apology is genuine to Hillary Burton. I think he's old enough now to know that maybe his actions were not in line with how a human being should act to another human being.
Yeah, but I mean, he was also an adult. This was in 2003, I think it said.
Yeah.
He was a grown man. He should still know to not cup a woman's breast on TV when he goes to give her a hug.
Sure, absolutely.
I think the thing with the Harvey Weinstein thing is that Hollywood has started, it seems like in the last year or so, to empower women and actresses to come out and speak against this kind of stuff more.
Yeah.
Because if you look back at the history, I don't want to get into it because it's super fucking dark, even for us.
Yeah.
But one of like the big conspiracies that I enjoy reading to see how fucking deep it goes is the whole sex trade that goes on in Hollywood and between like high-ranking Hollywood officials and government officials through the UK and America. And there's such a fucking chain you can go down of all factual things that happen. Like if you look at Jimmy Savile in the 70s, he was like a very prominent British children's guy. Right. Like he was on TV and he had a show called Jim Will Fix It, where he had kids on who had wishes for things. Like, I wish that I could be a garbage man for a day, and then they come on Jim Will Fix It and he'd fix their problems. He'd do stuff. It came out that he had like hundreds of sexual assaults and like molesting people and necrophilia, like super, super fucked up stuff.
Wow.
And it came out that Scotland Yard had investigated him in the 70s, and then they gave this information to the British royalty, and the Queen personally had just destroyed this information.
Oh, wow.
Because in Scotland Yard's investigation, they found that there were a couple members of British Parliament who also, like, as they uncovered Jimmy Savile, they started to uncover this kind of ring of underage kids that were being brought into all these people of power.
Right, yeah.
So now this is where it gets more conspiracy laden. So again, I don't want to go into it because the facts that are out there are already really fucked up. And I think even for us, it would be too dark to talk about.
Right, yeah.
But yeah, so this doesn't surprise me. I mean, if you look, you got me started on a topic I could talk about forever, Red.
That's okay. We need to pad a show anyway, right?
let's pad it talking about sexual assault, I guess.
Yeah.
If you look, there's a post that happened a couple years ago on some site. Let me see what it was real quick. Let me type in the old Googs here.
The old Google-oogles. While you're looking that up, since it's kind of along the whole vein of now that we've expanded it past Harvey, when we're talking about just, powers that be having influence, Terry Crews chimed in kind of in this Harvey Weinstein thing has really given me PTSD because he very recently just came out and said that he was molested by a person of power just at a party. Just somebody came up and grabbed his junk, which is crazy. Like, first of all, I mean, the only reason you do something like that to a man like Terry Crews is to see how far you can push him before he breaks you in half.
No, it's fucking power. I can tell you that's what it is. You get to the point where you have so much power and you're so rich and people kiss your ass because you can get things done in Hollywood. Yeah. You start to just realize that you can do whatever the fuck you want with this power. Like, how do you think Harvey Weinstein did it for so many years? And I feel like a lot of people who are saying they had no idea, it's just like Jimmy Savile in the 70s. As this information, because this information didn't come out till the 90s. And like they took his gravestone down because he was knighted. Like he was a big fucking deal.
Right, yeah.
It starts to come out that everybody knew.
Yeah.
And just like with Harvey Weinstein, I saw a clip from some award show within the last year or two with Seth MacFarlane and Emma Stone.
Yeah.
And he was naming like best actress. And after he names everybody, he goes, "Okay, ladies, so now you're old enough that you don't have to pretend to like Harvey Weinstein anymore."
Oh, wow. Yeah.
So like in a different light, it's a little fucked up, like kind of a known secret.
Yeah.
But anyway, what I was looking for is there was a celebrity blog called Crazy Days and Nights, which is supposedly written by an entertainment lawyer.
Okay.
And they wrote on this blog, and this was 2012, so this is quite a while ago.
Yeah.
They wrote a thing about a Hollywood actress who was supposedly involved in a sex ring. Like an underage sex ring that she had been brought into.
Oh, wow.
And somebody started commenting underneath it on the post saying like, "I'm a Hollywood insider. I'm a pretty big Hollywood insider. Here's the things I can confirm." And they basically posted and confirmed that like, yes, there's pedophilia. Yes, there's like these underage parties. Yes, this shit happens constantly. And people kind of traced back who this person was by the things they posted and are like 99% sure that it was Robert Downey Jr. posting.
Oh.
So yeah, this stuff isn't unheard of at all.
Right.
And I think going back to like my previous point, I think it's cool that it seems to be more acceptable and people are listening to women more when they're starting to come out against these powerful guys and saying like, "Hey, no, that's not okay. Even though you can make or break my career with a stroke of your pen, it's still not okay for you to grab my butt."
Yeah. Well, and that's the thing where it becomes more important. And this is something that we are still fighting for in general, not just, even Hollywood or people in Hollywood, but just people who have been sexually assaulted, is the coming out about it thing. in some ways, it's actually easier to come out against somebody like this who is in a position of great power, because you know that he's done it before.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
So, I mean, in my mind, it seems like it would be a lot easier overall to come out against Harvey or any other executive who has wronged you in such a visceral fashion, because you're going to have people's back once it really starts coming out. So to a certain extent, I mean, Rose McGowan stated that Twitter blocked my account. There's some big hand, or I forget exactly how she phrased it now, but she said, big pockets, but I think that there was that second tweet that I read off of hers, where it's kind of a he said, she said, can be potentially defamatory. Is that the word that I'm looking for? Against Affleck? I mean, like, you're really borderline. You don't really have any proof to back up that he might have said that, except for just he said, she said. So when that goes to the other end of the spectrum, that when you're famous, you have to watch what you say, because there can very easily be legal... Oh, sorry, I've hit the mic there. There can very easily be legal recourse for defaming somebody.
Yeah.
Or potentially defaming them, or, if he said, I never said that to you, you're making me look bad, that's defamation of character, so...
Yeah, and Twitter seems to kind of play with the rules just depending on what they feel at the time.
Yeah.
Like, they have their terms of service, but they're broad enough that they can kind of interpret them however they want.
Right, exactly. So, anyway, I don't know. That is a little bit of a dark way to start off our podcast.
Here's some jokes about you being racist, Remington. Now let's talk about sexual assault.
Yeah. Do you have a good story? Can we make this good?
Do you want me to do one of my great segues?
Yeah, do me a good segue, Brandon. Last week you put me on the spot for the segues. Now I need you to write it.
So, Remington, speaking of giant things in positions of power, do you know what happens this Tuesday?
What?
Do you know what happens this Tuesday, October 17th at 7 p.m. Pacific time?
No, what
Twitch?
happens this Tuesday? At
the
7 p.m.
video of the MegaBots fight, MegaBots versus Suidobashi, the giant robot fight that's been a build-up forever.
Oh, shit, yeah?
Yep.
That's what's going to happen?
7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, which will be 10 p.m. Eastern Time.
Are you sure? Is it 3 hours or 4 hours?
3 hours.
Okay.
I'm like 90% sure, because I recorded with a dude on the West Coast a little bit ago. But let me check.
It depends on where on the West Coast, I think.
No, it doesn't.
Don't fucking sass me.
Yeah, it's 12 hours.
Huh? 12 hours?
12 hours. It's 3 hours.
Okay.
Uh-oh. So, yeah, and I don't know. They haven't said if it's pre-recorded or not. It was kind of rumored that it was going to be pre-recorded because there was no way they could safely do it live.
Yeah, in case anybody
something
died.
happened. Yeah.
I mean, they have built-in delays for live feeds. That's the whole point of them. So if somebody accidentally gets decapitated, you won't see that.
Well, somebody because MegaBots posted this on their Facebook page, and somebody posted and said, considering the time and money it costs to build one of these, I highly doubt it'll be a huge tear-apart mega fight. More like an overhyped Nerf battle, LOL.
Yeah.
And then MegaBots responded in all caps and said, "You are in for a surprise, my man."
Well, that's cool.
So I think that it actually is pre-recorded.
Yeah, and it very well could be, and I wouldn't be upset if it was. But you're gonna put a link down in the description for people to click on, yeah?
Yeah.
So it'll be twitch.com/ what? Do you have any idea?
MegaBots Inc. INC.
MegaBots Inc. Okay.
Yeah, and that's if you want to watch it on Twitch live, in quotes, maybe question mark live.
Right.
After that, they're going to put it on YouTube and Facebook. Immediately after the stream ends, they're going to put it up. So
I gotcha.
You'll be able to watch it. And I have a feeling that even though this story has kind of flown under the radar, I have a feeling after the fight, you're going to see it on some bigger news sites and share it on Facebook. at least like America had giant robot fight. I think you'll see like a day of it in the news.
Yeah. I guess we'll find out how right you are, Brandon.
We will.
There are
I'd
far
stake
more.
my reputation on it.
I'm gonna go on the defense of this and say that we're not going to see that because it doesn't have enough hate involved in it to make national news.
What, that a giant American robot fights a giant Japanese robot?
Yep, that's right.
But we'll say that the Japanese robot is racist and the American robot sexually assaulted another robot.
Okay, that sounds good.
And they're both Republican?
Ooh, I don't know how that works. I don't think Japan has a Republican Party.
That's what's so fucked up about the robot. The robot got indoctrinated.
Oh, man.
When it came over here for the fight.
Wait, so would they be fighting then, though?
Oh, yeah. There's a lot of different branches of the Republican Party at this point.
Yeah, well.
We'll say the American one's a Tea Partier.
Okay. This is all stupid.
Yeah, this whole episode's a weird episode.
This is all weird. Well, live or not, I think it'll be very interesting to to watch. Yeah, I didn't know how to come back from that.
Yeah.
So just got real weird.
We're trying, listeners, okay?
Well, I think
we're trying.
But yeah, I think it'll be fun to watch, if nothing else. I don't know. You'll have to message me and remind me to watch it because I can't guarantee that I will remember.
Oh yeah, I'll let you know, and then we can chat in Facebook Messenger and be friends while it happens.
Yeah, we can be friends! Yay!
And make comments like, "Whoa, look at that punch!"
Yeah, and that slice,
stuff like that,
and moving and things.
But while I'm on the subject,
check out that decapitation. Yeah.
Look at that little Japanese man getting decapitated. Look at the American man. It's fucking robot fights, Remington. It's fun. Quit shaking your head. It's joyous. Have you seen that they have edible robots they're working on?
What? No.
Edible robots, yes.
Edible robots?
Mm-hmm.
Like, what are they made out of?
It's a Swiss research institute called EPFL, and they're made out of gelatin.
Okay.
And they're calling these things soft pneumatic gelatin actuators.
Okay.
And you can see, I'll send you a link here real quick so you can see a picture of them.
Okay.
They basically look like kind of a segmented caterpillar made out of gelatin, and they can move independently, like they can squeeze.
Oh, weird. Okay.
And the idea is that you can eat them. And right now, if you hook them up to the proper things, they can grip stuff. And they can grip stuff like you can see in these pictures here, apples and heavier shit. So the actuators themselves can be pretty strong. And the idea is that you can eat these things and they can deliver medicine to you. And then the more they invent this technology, because they can get this completely edible thing to work pneumatically. So they can eventually build a little robot inside of your stomach by having you eat pieces and having them connect together to potentially like fix ulcers and fix things inside your body before you just digest them.
Weird. That's really odd. So, like, I mean, does it have, like, what are the moving parts, though? That's what I want to know. Like, are they, are the moving parts, like, edible as well?
I guess they would have to be, or small enough that you could pass them after you ate the whole thing.
Yeah, maybe. I can't tell what is, like, I'm watching a video of it right now.
Mm-hmm.
You can find it on YouTube. It's called Soft Pneumatic Gelatin Actuator for Edible Robotics. That's... Oh, they're using air. Oh. Well, I guess that would be the pneumatic part, but it looks like they'll reach around and they'll grip, or they'll let it flop over an item and then inject air into the gelatin. And they are like little pockets. They're like little segmented pockets, like you were kind of saying. So as the air expands inside that pocket, it causes it to firm up around the object and then lift it away.
Okay. It looks super weird to watch.
Yeah, it does. It really, really.
It's kind of disconcerting.
Yeah, especially when it picks up there and they put in 30 kpsi, it looked like.
Where it's picking up an apple?
No, before that, where it was where they were just pumping it.
Oh yeah, okay.
Or 30 kPa is what it is. It's so weird. But yeah, it's gelatin based, so I mean we can put it into our face holes and that would be fine.
And from the article, it says that they even suggest that rather than humans eating the edible robots, the robots could eat themselves.
Ooh.
The gelatin providing an emergency source of energy for a struggling bot.
That's really dark.
Yeah. So the technology to actually put this into practice, it says, is years off.
Yeah.
Right now, it's not in, I guess, the theoretical phase because they have built it.
Yeah.
But I don't know if it's small enough to actually be something you could swallow and not something. Because from the pictures and the size they are to pick up an apple, it looks like it'd be like a baby carrot that you'd have to eat.
Yeah, yeah. But it's gelatin, so I mean, it'd probably slide down pretty easily.
You think you could swallow a baby carrot's worth of gelatin?
Yeah. In fact, probably fairly easily.
Really?
Yeah.
See, I don't think I could do it.
Yeah. I mean, if it tasted like cherry, it's got to have a taste. It's got to have a little bit of a taste.
Yeah, if it's just like slimy nothingness.
Yeah, that's pretty gross.
So the thing that I find interesting about this is robotics for the longest time have been going in such weird directions. And I read this and realized that I'm wasting my time and I need to get into robotics because that's where everything's going.
Yeah, yeah.
But like we had robots for manufacturing, and then people were talking about nano robots and how nanotechnology was going to be kind of the big thing. Right. And then you have this company over here saying, hey, let's make gelatin-based robots that you can fucking eat. There's just so much going on with robotics right now. That's so interesting to me.
Yeah. Yeah, you've always been a big fan of robots anyway, just like robot culture and robot...
robot culture.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's really what it is. It's robot culture, you know, not just, this gigantic robot kills. It's a song. It's a song.
I assumed because you were singing it. Yeah.
Yeah. Who's it? Oh man, now I don't remember who does that song.
See, I was always a fan of Monkey vs. Robot by James Kachalka Superstar.
Yeah, that's true. MC Lars is who does that song. And that's literally what it's called, is This Gigantic Robot Kills. Okay. But yeah, anyway, you've been such a big fan of the culture over the years. I mean, that's always been something that you've kind of, even in your drawing, like, can't think of anything to draw, I'm going to draw a robot because robots are cool.
Oh, yeah. I love me a good robot. Especially like the sci-fi 60s and 70s sci-fi robots.
Right. Yeah.
The kinds that are just like, why? What is life? Why am human?
Yeah, exactly.
And nothing gets me more excited. And I just thought of this phrase as we were talking about this. A robot necropolis. That sounds awesome. And I would want to spend 1,000 years there.
But you can't because you're not a robot.
Yeah, but like breaking into a robot necropolis because I have to steal like some sort of robo motherboard, some sort of robo brain. Right. I mean, like, I'm horribly out of shape. I wouldn't be able to run from a robot.
Like, I mean, a robot necropolis would be like a robot graveyard.
Not necessarily, because like in D&D style, a necropolis is like liches and zombies and stuff.
Well, yeah, it's a place for the dead. A necropolis is a cemetery.
I'm going by D&D rules.
It's still a cemetery though. It's still a
if you say
cemetery.
It's a city for the dead.
Yes, it is a city for the dead.
And in D&D, if you say you have to go to the necropolis, the players don't assume you're just going to be fucking traipsing around a graveyard. They know that you're going to a city full of liches and whites and zombies and stuff, like ghouls running for mayor. I love it. I'm ghoul mayor.
Oh, what? So now we've gone from robots to undead. What the fuck is happening with this podcast?
Maybe I just came up with an idea for a hit NBC sitcom, Ghoul Mare.
Maybe this is going to be a bad episode. This is fucking all over the place. What the hell is happening?
Okay, so if we have a TV show called Ghoul Mare, does he have a whole family of ghouls, or is he a ghoul trying to fit in a regular society?
I mean, if you're going to be doing a sitcom, then I guess it could go either way. It could be like Friends style, or it could be Family Matters style.
I do like Family Matters.
Yeah.
Like very wholesome outside of the fact that he's a ghoul.
Yeah. Yeah. There you go. It's always wearing a fucking sweater vest.
See, because if you do that, he's a ghoul and everybody else isn't, you kind of get a Mork and Mindy flavor to it. Yeah. So half the episodes write themselves because it's just about him trying to fit in and not be obvious that he's a ghoul.
Yeah.
Now, if the whole family are ghouls, you go with more of a Monsters vibe.
Right. This is true. Yeah. I guess we'll have to workshop that.
Yeah. I mean, it's just a seed of an idea now, but...
Yeah. Who knows? One day you might be looking at ABC Family and seeing Ghoul Dad Knows Best.
No, it specifically, very specifically has to be Ghoul Mayor. He has to be Mayor.
Mayor, yeah. Ghoul Mayor Knows Best.
And he's going to be like shrugging on the front. Or maybe he's been stabbed through the chest with an American flag, but because he's a ghoul, it doesn't kill him. So he's looking like, eh?
Yeah. Yeah, okay. I can get that.
Or, this is my last idea, and then we can move on. The poster is Lady Liberty, and she's like down terrified, and Ghoulmare is eating her brains, but he's winking at the camera. So you get Justice in there, and you get the fact that he's a ghoul.
Everybody loves Justice.
And then his kid will be like to the side, like, Dad, and he's got a slingshot in his back pocket.
Right. So, speaking of sitcoms, I finally got around to finishing The Tick, the 6th episode of The Tick, Amazon Prime. It's probably linked down in the description. You can get a free fucking 7-day trial or 10-day trial or some bullshit like that, if you sign up and put all your information into everything.
Yeah.
Forever.
Give it all.
Just give it all away. Just give it all away. Giving it away now. But so now that I have seen it and have caught up and watched it, you said that you enjoyed it and that it kind of grew on you. Do you have anything to further elaborate on it now that I've went and watched the rest of it? Do we want to get a little spoilery on it for those people who haven't seen it? Or do you think it's fair to say that if somebody wanted to watch it, spoiler territory is a little late now?
Yeah, I mean, I guess we'll probably get spoilery.
Okay.
So, I mean, and not that there's not really anything that's majorly spoiled, though. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, there's not any sort of plot twists or anything that happens that is going to be totally spoiled.
Yeah, not entirely, I guess.
Yeah.
So, just to clarify, The Tick came out with 6 episodes, and it was, I guess you would call it kind of a trial instead of just being a pilot. Like a 6-episode pilot almost, where you see if it's really going to be picked up. And I guess that's something that you can do in these new streaming, this new avenue of streaming video content. Like, it's not on a network; it's online only.
Yeah.
So we see the first 6 episodes of what is actually a 12, I believe, episode season, and the second set of episodes are set to come out February 23rd, 2018. We found that out at one of the more recent big conventions. I don't remember which one it was now.
New York City Comic-Con, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think that's what it was. New York City Comic-Con, we found out that they would be coming back out February 23rd, which is my sister's birthday.
Hooray!
I think. It's like the 23rd or the 24th. I don't remember. Could be any time. It's
which is
February.
Cool because I had no idea that originally when I finished the 6 episodes, because the 6th episode ends on such a fucking cliffhanger.
Oh yeah.
I had no idea that there were 6 more episodes coming. I thought it was one of those things where they release those and then are like, okay, let's see what people say about it.
Yeah. But I mean, it was kind of a cliffhanger, but at the same time, it was kind of a vindication as well for Arthur. Without going into straight up telling people what happened.
Well, we already said spoilers. It doesn't matter.
Yeah. So
how's it vindication though? Because it ends with him caught by the main villain.
Yeah, by the terror,
like, tied to a chair.
Yeah, but he was everybody thought that the terror was dead. So now that we know that he's not, so there's your spoilers.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he shows up in like the 3rd episode. So.
Well, yeah, but only through flashbacks, really. Or is it? No, I guess it's the 4th episode that we actually know that he's alive, right?
Yeah, because he shows up to
Miss Lint's apartment. Miss Lint's
What's her name?
Miss Lint.
Okay, yeah.
Miss Lint. Her apartment.
Miss Lint.
No, just Miss Lint.
Michelin. So yeah, he shows up. Do you know who that actor was who was playing the Terror?
Yeah. We talked about this. We talked about
did
this.
We?
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's the guy who played Rorschach.
Yeah. Did you know that the actor was the guy who played Rorschach?
Yes. I specifically remember editing this whole exchange.
I have no idea, dude.
4 episodes ago.
I don't remember things so good sometimes.
Because I told you, I was like, oh, he was the guy who played, it was that underrated or overrated superhero movie that I didn't really like and blah, blah, blah. And I was like, what was that movie called? And you were like, oh, whatever that movie is actually called. I forget. Because I really don't care for it. It's weird.
Watchmen, yeah.
Yes, Watchmen. And I was like, what was the guy's name with the shifting little face? And you're like, Rorschach? And I'm like, yeah, that's the guy who played blah, blah, blah. Okay.
So we're doing a full breakdown of that episode
That's
now?
the full, it's like I'm sorry.
And then you were like, no way. And then I was like, totally.
Yeah. And that's the thing that happened. And then we got fucking ice cream afterward and it was really delicious.
Yeah.
The end.
It was a good time for everybody.
Yeah. But
so it's Rorschach that plays the Terror.
Yeah.
From the movie Watchmen.
So we get to see and really it's really boiling down, at least these first episodes, I would say primarily being about Arthur and Miss Lint.
Yeah, the tick is just kind of there.
Yeah, it seems like all of the other characters are just kind of there, but we're really seeing the dynamic or the not the dynamic, I can't think of the other word that I'm wanting here. But we're seeing it really focusing on the world that's spinning around Arthur and the world that's spinning around Miss Lint and how those two kind of bounce and clash and collide.
Yeah.
So, long and short, Arthur has the suit. He ends up giving up the suit. He ends up getting the suit back in a very short order because it was imprinted to him when he first put it on.
Yeah.
And he had decided that he didn't want to be part of the superhero thing. He still wanted to figure out whether or not the Terror was alive. But after that, he was just done with, he didn't want to be part of the superhero thing. He was feeling not very superhero-y. And then the episodes unfold and he finds that, hey, maybe this is kind of something that I want to do. And we start to see that reluctant hero out of Arthur. And at the same time, we're seeing the story about Miss Lint. She's currently working for Ramses, I think is what his name is. Ramses, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then the Terror makes his appearance at her apartment and is basically like, what the fuck are you doing? You were my right-hand man. Your evil knew no bounds. How are you still working for this schmuck? Yeah.
So and she ends up just straight up murdering Ramses at the very end.
Yeah, which is brilliant, but at the same time, like it's funny to see that even a villain was, I mean, he's basically berating her for showing weakness, that it was her love for him.
Yeah.
He's like, be ruthless. Don't, if I disappear, don't cry over me. Just, keep being evil. He was like, I figured you would have came for me years ago.
Well, and it really does a good job of building up the Terror as this completely awful person. Because, like, they talk about the Terror and how he destroyed, and it was kind of the same thing in the Patrick Warburton tick also.
Yeah.
That the Terror was just talked about like he did these horrible, awful things, and everybody was terrified of him.
Yeah.
So when he shows back up and he's talking to Miss Lint, she catches him lying to her.
Yeah.
When he says, like, I've been watching you the whole time. And then it turns out that she was married to and then divorced their IT guy.
Yeah.
And he's surprised by it. And she's like, I thought you were watching me the whole time. And he basically just gives a shrug.
Yeah. He's like,
so he's just
I wasn't, fuck you.
Yeah. He's just manipulating her emotionally. And I think we're going to see that in the second half, where he manipulated her to kill Ramses for whatever reason.
Yeah.
He doesn't care about her, and he's not trying to get her to actually be her own woman. He's just manipulating her because he's a manipulating guy.
Yeah. I really like the outfit of the Terror. It's kind of reminiscent of some of the other characters that we saw in the cartoon. But in the cartoon, he was more of an old man.
Well, he's definitely an old man in this, too.
Yeah, but it looks less like he's an old man and more like he's scarred from some sort of like acid dip.
Yeah. And did you know that that's the actor who played Rorschach?
Yes, I did.
Yeah, in the cartoon, I pulled up a picture because I haven't seen him in the cartoon.
Yeah.
He is just straight up like a fucking 90-year-old man, huh?
Yeah, he's just a 90-year-old. He used to hang out with Castro or something like that way back. I don't know. I don't remember. It's been a really long time since I've watched the animated series. But
was he considered as evil in the cartoon?
There was a lot of allusion to how bad he was, but it seemed like he lost his edge in his old age, maybe.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I remember that scene from the Patrick Warburton Tick where they go see the Terror. He's in the old folks home at the hospital.
Right, yeah.
And then he just, like, he barely has any strength and still is, like, throwing them across the room.
Yeah. So we haven't really seen any inkling as to how strong he is. He seems less like he is a powerhouse of his own right and more that he is a mastermind, which I think is way more important to have in an overreaching villain like the Terror. Like, he's got to have his fingers in all sorts of different things, and the only reason Arthur even thinks that he's still alive is that he's borderline crazy in that he still hasn't gotten over his father's death or what have you.
Yeah.
So,
well, and I like whenever Miss Lent's ex-husband walks in, I can't remember his name. He walks in saying something about the soy milk and the Terror hits him with a couple poison darts.
Yeah.
And it's just, he does a good job of that. The actor who also played Rorschach in Watchmen does a good job because he manages to like whip the darts so fast. And I think that shows for a second that he's not just an old man.
Yeah.
He actually, even if he is old, he still carries just fucking poison darts and has multiple poisons because he comments. He's like, he's not dead. Well, which one did I use?
Yeah, it is. Oh, no, that's just the pufferfish poison or whatever it was.
It was platypus poison.
Platypus, that's right. It was. Oh, no, that's just platypus poison. Yeah, I love it.
Yeah, I didn't like Miss Lent the first episode or two, but I didn't really like a lot of the characters in the first episode or two.
Yeah.
I was going in with an open mind. I was giving it a shot, but they definitely grew on me.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say this show was like a 10 out of 10 or anything.
I had a lot of laugh out loud moments. Mm-hmm. I mean, it struck a nice nostalgic chord with me. And again, this is more coming from, I mean, you didn't watch the animated series.
Yeah.
So that kind of sucks because there are really a lot of like, I don't want to say allusions to the animated series, but it feels like an adult live action version of the animated series where it's kind of zany at some points and you just have to laugh because you're like, this is fucking ridiculous, but I love it.
Like whenever Arthur activates the suit and he's flying and there's kind of that slapstick moments that seems like it stretches on pretty long where he keeps turning off the flight on the suit and then turning it back on again.
Yeah, I mean, he only does it like twice though.
That really rang as like something that would happen in the cartoon.
Yeah, but I mean, the big takeaway from that is less the slapstick for me and more the Tick being this voice of like, why on earth would you listen to this nigh invulnerable idiot? And yet somehow he manages to inspire this confidence inside of this tiny, fragile little man.
Yeah.
So that's the kind of thing that I enjoy about it, is that this moron the whole time while Dot is beside him and like, no, don't do that thing. Don't do that thing at all. You are going to die. And of course he doesn't. So
do you think they're setting up the Tick as kind of omnipotent, or at least not omnipotent, but at least like sort of a fortune teller?
Like a soothsayer?
Seer of some sort?
No, I really don't think so. I think I think it's just serendipitous that things tend to work in the tick's favor.
Well, and wasn't it kind of like that in the cartoon too?
Yeah.
That he just sort of like everything kind of just went his way.
Yeah, he just kind of bumbled through it until there was a resolution. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I like that. It's like this it's almost like he's an accidental hero. And I do like the spin of the tick just not knowing why he is who he is. Like they're really playing that up. That kind of lost, I think that kind of started off that way in the cartoon. And in the first live action series as well, I believe. He's watching over a bus station. Like he's the hero of a bus station.
Yeah, and he doesn't remember anything before that.
Right. So he's the hero of this bus station, and then for some reason goes to the city, which is just called the city, and starts to superhero there. But he has no inkling of who he was prior to that. No idea why he's dressed the way he is, why he is the tick. He just knows that he is. It's all very funny.
Yeah, well, in the Patrick Warburton series as well, there's a whole episode where a woman comes out and says, "You are my husband," and she has pictures of him not in the tick suit.
Yeah.
So he just goes and says like, "Oh, I guess this is my history. This is where I'm from," and he goes and just starts living a normal suburban life.
Yeah.
Still in the tick costume, but like with a suit over top of it.
Yeah. So I know that we talked, because we had watched the first episode and then the second episode, and at that point you watched through the rest of it, and I didn't have the chance to. And we talked about the change in the tick suit. I think that was a good change. I think that was a welcome change in my personal feeling on it. That first suit was just too busy looking, and I like that it's more, it kind of has an armored feel now.
Yeah.
Let's see here. Is there anything else I kind of want to touch on? I think that pretty much sums it up. I'm really looking forward to watching the rest of it. And I hope that it's something that will continue on. Like, I don't want it to just go one season and then drop off.
Yeah.
You know?
But depending on how they wrap it up, I think even if it only went one season, it could be a strong one season thing.
Yeah. I don't know. I am really looking. There are a lot of series that have been on streaming services now. You know, we're seeing more of that as the years go on, and some that are to very critical acclaim that I have just never watched. And part of the reason is because I have cable, and there are things that I watch on cable, but I want to see these kinds of shows. I want to be able to give up cable.
Yeah.
And be able to watch these shows once a week, but stream them instead, you know? So if there would be enough content that would make me feel like that would be worth it, then that's what I'd like to do.
Oh, so, there's enough. I'm sure for what you'd pay for your cable TV package, you can get.
Yeah, but the problem is that I have all the things that are going on right now. Like, if everything would end at once, that would be great. Like if the Tick the Flash and all of the DC stuff that I'm watching, those just started up again. We just watched Supergirl.
How is Supergirl? Did it get more exciting at all, or is it still fucking boring?
I don't know. I mean, I don't mind it. It's got a real heavy, like, feminist power kind of vibe to it.
Uh-huh.
Which I don't have a problem with. I don't really the only reason that I say it that way is because I have heard other people talk borderline disparagingly about it because of its major female influence. Like,
because it has just like a strong girl power thing.
It does. It has a very strong female presence. It seems like all of the male characters kind of take a backseat role for the most part, which is whatever. I mean, I don't that kind of thing I don't even really notice. I'm watching for the performances
and the story,
and the story, and I don't see the social politics so much when I watch something, unless social commentary is incredibly glaring inside of something, I don't really pay a ton of attention to it.
You just walk through in a blind sort of haze.
I do, because I watch TV to not focus on anything. Like, my focus is turned to things, either work or improving sales or working on the podcast or working on the website or doing deals with affiliates or this and that and the other partners and all of that. My mind is all over the place, and every once in a while, or the TV is there for my brain to shut down and me to just pour myself into it. That's what TV was made for in the first place.
Yeah.
Is to give you a brief escape from life.
Well, and the thing is about Supergirl is a strong female character who empowers women just by her fucking nature that she is a strong female character.
Right.
So if you're a Supergirl fan and you're watching the TV show Supergirl and your complaint is that it's too feminist agenda, then you're not a fucking Supergirl fan, because that's literally what Supergirl is.
Yeah.
I'm not saying Supergirl is feminist agenda, but Supergirl is about a fucking strong female character.
Yeah, exactly.
So if you don't like the show for that reason, then you're just stupid. Like, I didn't like the show because I thought it was boring.
Yeah.
So I don't watch the show, and I don't really think about the show, and it's fucking problem solved.
Guess
what, there, I'm done.
Yeah.
As long as it's not a female Ghostbusters.
Oh. Oh.
Did we talk about the female Ghostbusters ever?
Yes, I think we did. Yeah. We definitely did.
Did we talk about watching it? Did you see it?
I didn't watch it, no.
I watched it, and I can say I didn't think it was bad, really.
Oh, yeah?
I mean, I don't feel like it held up to the other Ghostbusters.
Yeah,
but in its own right, it entertained me. I mean, it didn't like fucking blow my mind or anything, but like...
Right. Yeah, it honestly seems like it would be an entertaining movie to watch, but pale in comparison to because the original Ghostbusters was really kind of more than just sight gags and stuff. Like, there was some very interesting stuff talked about as well.
Yeah.
Or very interesting interactions between people. I do want to touch on one thing back on the tick real quick.
Yeah, we don't need to go on to Ghostbusters.
Yeah. The product placement.
I didn't notice this, but I read it in some reviews. I didn't notice product placement at all.
Really? See, we talked about it one episode.
And I didn't notice it either when we talked about it.
So, like, in the first couple of episodes, you see, like, I think there's a Canon printer that they just zoom right in. In the second episode, I think it was with Ramses, he's drinking a vitamin water, and he's, like, straight up pointing the vitamin water at the camera. Like, he's turning his head, cocking his head a little bit so it shows it. And at the very end, you seriously didn't, like, make this fucking connection? Arthur gets captured. He's got a bag over his head. And the fucking terror goes, Alexa, cue... Oh, what does he say? Alexa, cue, like, minor instrumental music or suspenseful music. Like, straight up a call out to fucking Alexa. Cracked me up. And then I think he straight up ended it on cliffhanger or something like that. Yeah, he did. Just straight up, cliffhanger!
I searched the Tick product placement, and apparently there's a website called brandspotters.com.
Yeah.
That just goes through TV shows and calls out every product placement that's in.
Yeah. I mean, that's part of the appeal too of the Tick. Go in knowing full well and looking for. I encourage you to do it, to look for the product placement. We talked about the blue Coleman poncho.
Yeah.
That Arthur was wearing to try and cover up the suit. But because the Tick is the Tick, that overt product placement that's trying to be subversive is right in line with the humor of it. Yeah. Like, they're really playing that. It's like, look, here's product placement. See this? This is product placement. You know, wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Here's a joke. I love it. I think that's hilarious too.
While they're still managing to
continue the story, and
while they're still managing to satisfy the advertisers and getting the product placement in there, even though they're winking at you that there's product placement, they're still putting product placement in it.
Yeah, exactly. It cracks me up. So yeah. Okay. Next story. Space news.
Okay. Space it up. Give me some space.
Asteroid the size of a house will zoom past the Earth on Thursday at a distance of some 26,000 miles, NASA said.
Cool. Star Wars trailer.
That that's actually fairly close when you consider that the moon is about 239,000 miles away. So 26,000 miles versus 239,000 miles. The farthest satellites out are about 22,000 miles out. So it's just 4,000 miles past our farthest satellites.
Okay.
There's no chance that the asteroid will hit the Earth. Its closest will be over Antarctica at 1:42 a.m. Eastern time on Thursday. It's not been seen since its discovery in 2012. It's called 2012 TC4. It's roughly 45 to 100 feet in size and is hurtling through space at about 16,000 miles per hour. So really neat. Yeah, it's going to happen today. You'll probably miss it. So there's that.
Yeah, I searched it. I found an article on space.com updated today.
Uh-huh.
And their big thing on the front page is artist illustration showing the small asteroid zooming by Earth. And it's just like a fucking like a CG Earth with just this really shitty, like untextured white bean of an asteroid just like in front of it. Like no sort of action lines or anything.
Yeah.
Artist illustration clearly took like 5 minutes.
That's funny. So that speaking of space news, we got that bad segue in. Star Wars. So Star Wars: The Last Jedi came out with a official trailer. Finally, we got to see all of the new characters and a lot of the old characters, and we got a new adorable little fucking creature with the Porg, which is why our word was porged today.
So am I just as shitty that I was annoyed by that little thing too?
The
just
Porg?
like Baby Groot.
I don't know. I guess if I'm not mistaken, the Porgs have been in the animated stuff for a little while now.
Okay.
So they exist in the narrative.
No, from what I'm seeing on Wikipedia, it's saying they were designed specifically for The Last Jedi.
Oh, really? Okay.
Mm.
Then there are other kind of bird-like creatures that are in the animated series, specifically the Rebels series. There is they're kind of like an owl-like creature. I don't remember what those are called. They reference two different animals through the Rebels series, one kind of tied to Ezra and the other kind of tied to the female where was Boba Fett from? Mandalorians. Yeah. The female Mandalorian character. I can't remember what her name is at the moment. But anyway,
the Porgs were apparently based off of puffins.
Okay.
That live on the island that they're filming the stuff with Luke.
Okay.
So the actual island, Skellig Michael, has puffins, so they made CG/puppet Porgs to be on this island.
I gotcha. Okay,
so what were your general impressions of the Star Wars trailer? Let's sink our teeth into this meaty buttocks.
There were some, I think even the director said that if you don't want any kind of spoilers, don't even watch the trailer. And
what did you see as a spoiler, though?
Well, they really kind of pulled scenes from all throughout the movie, it seemed like beginning, middle, and end scenes.
Yeah.
And if you kind of break it down, you can see like I'm straight up brain farting on names. What's our bad guy's name?
Kylo Ren.
Yeah, thank you.
You have Kylo Ren, you have Rey as the girl, and then you have Finn as Stormtrooper.
Finn and Poe and Captain Phasma. Okay.
We can start the whole thing if you want.
I got it. I mean, it kind of bounces, like the whole trailer kind of bounces all throughout the movie, and you can kind of get that feel in the last one. Kylo Ren takes a shot to the face. We see we see that he has that has been bandaged. You know, it has some sort of like a metal mesh band-aid that is basically on his face.
Yeah.
And then later on, toward the tail end of it, we see that Band-Aid is gone now, so he just has the scar that's left. So he has continued to heal throughout the trailer, even, which we would assume he healed throughout the movie as well. Oh, we see there were pictures released of the new character Rose and Finn in some Imperial style garb. Was it the New Order? Is that what it's called? Or
yeah, it's the New Order.
Yeah. So we see them in some Imperial or some New Order garb, dressed. We assume that maybe it's some sort of infiltration, and then finally we see him fighting with Captain Phasma. Chewie.
I hadn't seen Rose at all.
Yeah. This was a picture that was released, that was leaked from the set.
Okay, if you Google image search Rose, there's a lot of pictures of her now.
Yeah. So we see Chewie with the Porg in the Millennium Falcon. We don't see who's flying the Falcon. Or Falcon, however you want to call it. I always said Falcon just because it sounded...
Well, I think I pronounced it Falcon for a while too, and I think it's because that's how Obi-Wan pronounces it with his British accent.
Yeah, exactly. That's the only reason.
The Millennium Falcon.
Falcon. That's right, the Millennium Falcon.
Hey, Luke, hop on.
Luke, get on the Millennium Falcon, Luke.
Hop on my Falcon, Luke.
Whoa.
Obi-Wan's a creep. So... Obi-Wan's pulling a Harvey on us.
Yeah. We see Luke making illusions, and even we see like flashbacks of Luke kind of busting out of, he had his own, what we can assume was his own Jedi temple. That Kylo Ren had burned down when he was in the midst of his training, when there was a revolt. So
everything kind of points to, from the first movie, and then things that people just kind of assume are true.
Yeah,
is that Luke ran a Jedi Academy, trained Jedi. Kylo Ren started to turn to the dark side. Luke had no experience and didn't know how to deal with it.
Right,
and Kylo turned evil. So that's why he put himself on this island, because he felt so guilty about allowing Han and his sister's kid, so his nephew, to turn evil.
Right. And you can see that his fear on the face of Rey's power. I've seen power like this before, and I wasn't scared. This time I am, or whatever he says.
This time I am.
This time I'm shitting my pants.
And not just because of the age.
But so you can kind of see that Luke is wearing this fear. Of course, we know what happens when we fear Luke. So
it leads to hate, which leads to suffering.
Yeah, which is the path to the dark side. So,
do you think Luke's going to turn evil? I've seen people kind of toss this idea around.
I heard through some of our nerdy friends perusing Facebooks that there was this. I don't know where they got it from. If they're thinking that, I don't think Luke would turn to the dark side. He's already flirted with the dark side.
I think a lot of what they're basing it off of is that Mark Hamill has said before, and this was before these Star Wars movies came out, that he always thought it would be interesting if Luke turned to the dark side.
Yeah, but at the same time,
go ahead. Sorry.
But at the same time, he has not been quiet about how he thinks that the writers have taken Luke in a direction that he didn't think that he would go.
Yeah, so. I thought that quote was pretty interesting, where he was talking about how they literally went the opposite direction on everything he would have done with Luke, and he hated their direction.
Yeah,
he kind of just went with it.
Yeah, I mean, you are Luke Skywalker, so you kind of have to do what you got to do.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think that is the thing when you're playing an iconic character like that. I mean, he may not have known at the time how iconic a character Luke would be, but as the years go on and more stuff is put out and all of that, and the character becomes more than the actor, and we grow to see the love that all the people have for the character, and to that end the actor as well. The actor tends to create their own kind of narrative for what they would love to happen with the character.
Yeah. Because
the character is just important to them as it is to the fans. And I don't think that makes Mark wrong, or I don't think that he's. I watched a couple of videos where they titled it Mark Hamill shitting on or hating on Star Wars, and I think that he has a right to be critical.
Yeah, and those titles are clickbait bullshit.
Oh yeah,
though.
They totally are.
I watched some of those. He's talking about the direction of Luke went in a different direction than what he wanted it to.
Yeah,
but he's not like Star Wars sucks now.
Yeah, in some cases,
Luke Skywalker basically bought his fucking house. You know, he's not going to hate on Luke Skywalker that
exactly, and some of it is taken out of context too. Like there were some of those episodes that were straight up. Or some of those videos that were straight up taking it out of context. Like pieces from an interview that they cut off just enough to make you think that he was being shitty about it.
Yeah.
So that's not the case. I think that it's fair to say that it's not necessarily where Mark wanted to see Luke go, but at the same time, Luke is not his baby. He just plays him on TV.
Well, and I think they kind of are trying to imply that he's evil with the trailer.
Do you really? See, I don't get that vibe.
I don't think that he actually is going to be evil. I don't think they would do that to Luke.
I think that he is hesitant. I don't think he's evil, or I don't even think that he's toying with evil. I think that he is more cautious of evil manifesting now. That maybe he'll go too far to protect against evil, like further than what he rightfully should as a Jedi Knight, or as a Jedi Master. And I think it circles back to the fact that he didn't know what to do about Kylo Ren turning to the dark side. You know, so it's the same thing as like you have your first kid, and your first kid busts their face open, right?
Yeah.
Has to get some stitches. Second kid comes along and you're overly protective and the kid never busts their face open, but now he's kind of a shithead because you were overprotective. So third kid comes along and you go with a light touch, you let them make their own mistakes, and they turn out to be a pretty decent human being.
Yeah.
So in this instance, Rey would be kid number 2, where there's a lot of power, there's a lot of potential in Rey. She's incredibly powerful. I'm gonna be super, super grippy on the light side. I'm gonna shove the light side down your throat because I want you to be fucking light side.
Yeah.
So it's very easy to kind of go the opposite way, where now you can see the signs, and maybe you're manifesting signs that she's flirting with the dark side that are not necessarily there, which could cause a schism between the two. And toward the end of the trailer, we see what we can presume is Rey talking rather amicably with Kylo Ren, wanting to know where her place is, and then him extending his hand. That could, the lighting and the setting kind of indicates that they could be in the same place, but that could also be some directorial misdirection.
Yeah. And that scene you're talking about is where you see his face healed as well.
Yeah, exactly.
Which would put it more towards the end of the movie, presumably.
Yeah.
There's also a scene where you see her like rising up from some water, and you see Luke standing there all dark and shrouded and stuff.
Yeah.
I think that that's going to be kind of a take on the scene from Empire when Luke goes into that cave and has to confront Vader.
Yeah.
And it basically is that cave of hallucination.
Yeah.
I think that this is going to be the same sort of thing. The way the lighting is, and it's super smoky.
Yeah.
And who knows, that thing with Kylo could even be part of that cave.
Yeah.
Could be her being confronted by him as saying, you know, hey, join me, and her trying to say no.
Yeah, that's an interesting perspective. We could be something like that. Yeah. I mean, when it comes to sticking to the tropes of the things that made the early movies great, they're tending to do that.
They're writing those tropes for sure.
To the point where the fanboys are like, "Oh, this is just a remake of A New Hope," and blah, 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 blah.
But A New Hope was a good movie.
But I think they're hitting the same beats because those are the beats that were important. I don't think that makes it a remake. I think that just makes it a different movie that's hitting the same beats.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know.
I know you, whenever we had Danny was on the show too, after Force Awakens, and we all talked about it, you and Danny seemed a little less impressed by Force Awakens. Danny particularly.
Yeah.
But I loved it, and I was defending it. And I remember I was defending it from both of you guys a little bit, because you guys both kind of seemed to feel like it was a complete rehash of A New Hope.
Yeah.
As far as plot line goes.
Yeah. And I mean, I have definitely kind of changed my view over time. Don't get me wrong, it's still there. Like, I still see it.
Oh no, for sure it is.
Still hitting all the same beats, but I think it was less the beats. I think it was less that they were hitting those beats because they knew that those were the beats that sold, and more that, honestly, the story itself was pretty good in the original movies. So hitting those same beats in these movies will just continue that same feel, ultimately.
Yeah, and I mean, I think with Force Awakens, we'll see how it goes with The Last Jedi. If it completely follows the same format, then my goodwill might be a little more lost as like, okay, guys, come on.
Right, yeah.
But with Force Awakens, at least, I can kind of see why they did it, to be like, no, we're going to bring in a new audience, but also show the old audience, like, no, we still get what Star Wars is and what made it Star Wars to you guys.
Yeah, yeah.
And that's Star Wars, bitch. Pew, pew, pew.
So, I mean, overall,
better than that.
Overall, what do you think your take on the trailer was then?
I'm stoked for Last Jedi.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I think it was a good trailer. I didn't see anything outwardly super spoilery, but I can be pretty dense too.
Right.
So like you bringing in the scar being healed at the end and all that was all stuff I wouldn't have even noticed.
I'll tell you, the only reason that I even brought up that kind of stuff is because if you go over to the Looper YouTube, they have a 7-minute video about all the things you missed in the Star Wars The Last Jedi trailer. So that's where I was pulling some of this stuff from, like the picture released of Rose being in there. Go check out that video if you're interested in seeing the more nuanced stuff. But I still think that I'm in the same vein as you. Like, I think that it's whenever I watch a trailer or something, I'm fairly dense about it. I just want to see it for the enjoyment of things.
Yeah, and I'm not super big on, I watched a trailer and it spoiled the movie for me.
Yeah.
So yeah, what about you?
I think I still don't know if I'm excited. I mean, I'll go to see it because it's what I want to do. I don't want to say that I'm like overly excited about it, but I do want to go see it.
Yeah.
I'd like to see where the story takes us. Yeah, I've invested the time in watching the first one, so now I want to see where the rest of it goes. I still haven't watched, was it Rogue One?
Mm-hmm.
I still haven't watched that, so.
I need to rewatch it because the first time I watched it, I was pretty unimpressed.
Yeah.
Sadly, I was just kind of like, that was not that great.
Huh. I don't know. See, I thought you were a little more excited about it than that.
I wasn't excited at first because it looked like a war movie.
Yeah.
Then the last trailer before it came out released, and I was super sold on it. And then I didn't see it in theaters. I picked it up the day it released on Blu-ray, and I watched it at home.
Yeah.
And yeah, my big problem with Rogue One, and this kind of goes throughout the entire movie, is the main character, Jyn Erso.
Right.
She leads this rebellion. Everybody talks about her like she's fucking badass.
Yeah.
And then she never does anything that badass. And it was, if there was some sort of payout, because everybody's like, oh, you guys have Jyn Erso? Oh man, Jyn Erso, she's fucking awesome.
Right.
And the actress who plays her very stiff. She's very like kind of stone-faced badass. All the pieces are there for her to be a badass.
Yeah.
And I'm just waiting for her to like run up a wall and shoot somebody in the back of the head, Han Solo style.
Yeah.
And it just never happens. I mean, she's good with a gun. She has some cool scenes, but she never lives up to the expectation everybody has for her and that the movie gives you. Yeah. If it were just everybody says she's a badass and that's part of her personality, is her reputation precedes her and she's become a legend.
Yeah.
But it never implies that. It just implies that everybody's like, we've seen her fight. thumbs up. And then she's just like, yeah, I mean, she's shooting people with the gun like
Yeah.
everybody else is.
Well, I mean, when you take into consideration that almost every other bad guy in the galaxy can't hit anything to save their life, I mean, that's pretty impressive.
Yeah, that's true. K2SO was awesome. Like I knew he would be. I love that robot and I want to kiss his face.
Yeah.
And there's a scene early on in the movie where they go to a desert city, and it is so clearly supposed to be like Afghanistan.
Mm-hmm.
It's fucking crazy. I mean, it's this desert city. All the buildings are built like Middle Eastern style. People are wearing fucking turbans and scarves. There's a terrorist attack.
Yeah.
I was watching it with my girlfriend, and she and I both were like, this is pretty fucking on the nose. Yeah, I mean, like improvised explosive devices in a busy marketplace as people run and scream, and dudes with turbans have guns.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a little strange to see in a Star Wars movie. Because you expect, at least for me, and I know I'm kind of going long-winded now, surprisingly.
Yeah.
In a movie like this, you expect to see alien stuff, like maybe stretch your creative muscles and make it look like an alien world. Yeah. And not just like you're fucking filming in Jordan.
Yeah.
So
I get
but
you.
I mean, still, the movie was entertaining. I own it, and I don't regret that I bought it. It just wasn't. It didn't jump out at me as a great Star Wars movie.
I got you. Well, there you go. Looking forward to The Last Jedi and shitting all over Rogue One because meh.
Was I shitting all over it though?
Like I said, because meh. Because it was meh.
Yeah.
Isn't it weird that that's come into our vernacular? Meh. Just meh.
Yeah.
It was just meh. Anyway, if you have any questions or comments or you'd like to hear yourself on air, you can call us at 978-TU-OGRES. That's 978-386-4737. You can also reach us on Twitter at Dueling Ogres, email us at duelingogres@gmail.com, or leave a comment on the Facebook page. Just like these nice people, Brennan, go.
Viscount Terry W. Irvin. I don't know how he has access to these vaults of pictures of people holding things
from us
or that reference our podcast. It's crazy. But yeah, he found last week we talked very briefly about Applebee's having dollar margaritas throughout October.
Yeah.
And I think you said that Applebee's new slogan should be "Get your crunk on."
Yes. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Yeah. So he managed to find a picture of Burgess Meredith.
Yeah.
Holding a sign, a little placard saying "Get your crunk on" at Applebee's. So apparently that was already a slogan thing they had.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So and now I'm being sued. So
yeah, what are you going to do about that?
I'm just going to pretend like it doesn't exist like all the other lawsuits against me.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
We don't have any lawsuits against us, do we?
I mean, your name really isn't on most of the stuff, so
works for me.
I guess your hands are clean, asshole.
Yes. We have like 10 lawsuits from the Nerdist.
Yeah, yep.
Stop saying you're associated with us.
You're not, you're liars.
Oh, nerdist.com/duelingogres.
Come on, Chris Hardwick. Just pull us into your fold. Pull us into your nerdy little folds. Your adorable suit jackets that look like they belong to a child. I love them.
He looks so tiny.
He does. He seems like such a small man.
I just want to put him on my shoulders in the swimming pool and play a game of chicken with him.
Yeah, right? Totally. Get that.
Terry also posted a picture of the Joker holding a knife that says "whacked out on giggle dust."
Yep.
Jesse Starcher of the Source Material podcast commented on the giggle dust picture and said he's going through the series Brooklyn Nine-Nine right now. Second season, there was an epidemic of a drug hitting the streets. They codenamed this drug Giggle Pig. Ha 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 ha.
So we were really close.
Yeah, really and close. I'll give the ha 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 ha's a thumbs up because Giggle Pig's hilarious and it made me giggle.
Fair enough. Okay.
He also said he would watch a YouTube back catalog of Angry Video Game Nerd / Board James any day.
Yeah.
I've never watched Board James. I'm not sure who that is, but Angry Video Game Nerd, I've watched his entire catalog before and have rewatched some of the episodes. So I definitely get it there.
Yeah, and I think I clarified there as well that I have gone back and watched some older videos from people as well. So it's not something that's unheard of that I do, but usually once I'm kind of caught up on who a person is, I kind of just tend to watch what they've put out so far.
Yeah. Well, and Terry commented also and said he watches older videos to the several channels I've subscribed to, both for research purposes and entertainment. Nevertheless, I agree that something is going to have to change for YouTube to be profitable while not alienating its content providers.
Yeah. Yeah, there was a whole another story along that as well that happened. So, but suffice to say that one of the bigger YouTube creators made a video where he was going to donate the proceeds that he got from the ad revenue to the victims of the shooting in Las Vegas, and that video got demonetized. Where the Jimmy Kimmel video talking about the shooting had continued to have ads running on it, even though both said in the title, so the algorithm hit the YouTubers, but it didn't hit Jimmy Kimmel's. And the reason is because Jimmy Kimmel gets preferential treatment.
Yeah.
Just all of those bigger things get preferential treatment. They have people who they can circumvent those YouTube terms of service.
Yeah, well, and the terms of service specifically say that you can't monetize anything about a tragedy.
Yeah.
So that's where he got flagged on it.
Yes.
And like I can see, I saw the irritation with like, well, YouTube said it's terms of service for this, but not for that. But at the same time, like, yep, Jimmy Kimmel's drawn in a shit ton of views every time he posts a video. So kind of how it goes.
Yeah. And that's really what it boils down to, is that they do their advertising through a secondary or a third party team. So they have their own contract.
Well, and I just love that anybody was shocked that a big corporation can be hypocritical when it comes to money. Like,
yeah, right.
That's every fucking corporation since the dawn of time.
Exactly. So anyway, I think that pretty much wraps up the shout outs.
Yep.
Make sure to subscribe on our website at duelingogres.com for new shows and articles pertaining to some of your favorite geek news. Sorry, I lost what the fuck I was saying there for a second. Yeah. I recently put out an article. So one of our partners, our new partners, is Humble Bundle. We have talked about Humble Bundle before. You are a huge proponent of Humble Bundle yourself. You've bought many, many things from them.
Pretty much every week or every other week, I'll grab something from Humble Bundle.
Exactly. They are putting out, they have software, games, primarily on Steam, correct?
Yeah, primarily on Steam, but you can also get stuff that's DRM free that you can just download directly from their site.
Yeah. So, software, books, like PDF copies of books, games. They have a Humble Bundle, like monthly pack that you can get. And the neat thing about Humble Bundle is you can pick where you want your money to go. So say you buy a $50 pack and you get all sorts of crazy things. You can split up that $50 between the publishers that were involved in that bundle, charities that run through Humble Bundle, or even partners like us. So you could send 33.3% to the publishers, 33.3% to a charity of your choice, and 33.3% to us.
Yeah.
So I did an article recently about some RPG Maker software that looked really cool, and I want to clarify that yes, these are ads for us, but I am not going to promote something that I am not interested in.
Yeah.
I think that's the really important takeaway. They encourage you to be forthright with your partnership with them.
Which is weird because it's contrary to some of the other people we've done, right? Like,
exactly.
Wasn't Amazon, or isn't Amazon still like, don't talk about it?
Yeah, Amazon's like, don't talk about Fight Club. And I'm like, but we're in Fight Club. Shouldn't we let people know that we're in Fight Club? And they're like, the only way you can let them know that you're in Fight Club is with a little bit of blurb down at the bottom that says that you're in Fight Club. And that's all. That's it.
Okay.
So
didn't we just kind of break the rules of Amazon Fight Club right there?
Yeah, but I called it Fight Club instead of the Amazon affiliate.
Okay.
So, you're with the affiliate stuff, you're allowed to talk about the Amazon affiliate, but you're not supposed to say that
Don't say it.
You're not supposed to encourage people to buy stuff through your link, is what it is.
That's stupid. That's the whole fucking purpose of having it.
Like, well, the yes and no, because with the way that their advertising works, it actually pulls information from them. So it's already marketing to them. You're just not supposed to out and out say, please go buy this to support us.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah,
okay.
it's more of if you want to support us, you can do that. There's stuff down there, but don't, because I'm not supposed to tell you that you should. So
okay.
Whereas Humble Bundle, they're like, yeah, let people know. You know, we're all helping for good causes and getting stuff out there. So that's what's important.
Yeah, so we've been looking at, you specifically, Rim, have been looking at different advertising options for us and affiliate programs and stuff like that.
Yep.
We're not going to advertise for stuff that we're not interested in.
Right.
Until they offer to pay us enough money, and then we'll fucking sell anything you want. Advertisers, if you're listening, I don't care. I'll sell it all.
Yeah.
But no, really, with Humble Bundle, you're going to see some more articles probably. We're going to mention it more. But it is stuff that we're interested in. Like this month, I saw that they just put up, you can get for a fucking $1, like 8 Pathfinder PDF books.
Yeah.
I have pretty much every Pathfinder book put on PDF from Humble Bundles, and I spent like $8.
Yeah, exactly. So this is like a Paizo and somebody else partnership, so you can get a bunch of Pathfinder stuff and then a bunch of these comics from this other publisher that I can't recall at the moment. So, and we'll probably do something on that. I didn't want to bombard people. Like I already did an article about the RPG Maker and how interested I am in it.
Yeah, we got to kind of watch that we're not just... Dynamite Comics is who it is.
Yeah.
Paizo and Dynamite Comics.
Yeah.
Yeah, we want to make sure to not just like cram this stuff down people's throats.
Yeah.
Just to make it aware that, hey, Humble Bundle is a good deal, and
Yeah.
you can click on this thing and we get a cut of it. So
Exactly. But look out for those kinds of articles. I mean, yes, they are ads, but also they are things that we're interested in. We hope that you are too, and we just like to offer you a good deal on things. And it'll help us get content out there, because I like talking about things that I'm excited about.
And talking about things that make us money.
Mostly the former, sometimes the latter.
Yes.
So we are only one like away from our Facebook page. We're literally sitting at $2.99 and have been all of this week. So if you know anybody who likes podcasts or likes nerds talking about things, why don't you direct them over to our page so we can get that 300th so I can release the new art for the new shirt.
Yeah, and if you have a friend who lets you borrow their phone for a second, just hop on their Facebook page and like us.
Yeah, just do it. Just don't even tell them about it. They'll be like, what's this Dueling Ogres bullshit?
You know, don't you worry. Don't you worry your pretty little face about it.
That's right. Don't go and unlike the page. That's bullshit. Just like everything that I like. We're friends.
Also, unrelated to that, I was on a horror podcast. I talked about it some last week. It's releasing the 13th tomorrow.
Yes.
So by the time you're hearing this episode, that episode will already be out.
That's right.
So I'll put it in the links to the show, but you probably will have already seen it if you like the Facebook page, because tomorrow when it comes out, I'm going to post it there.
Okay. Sounds good.
So that was a kind of convoluted way to say it'll be on the Facebook page.
Right.
It's weird because by the time this episode comes out and they hear it, it's already out.
Yeah, exactly. It's very timey-wimey.
Yeah, so I have to talk to them as if they're in the past.
That's right. And finally, be sure to leave us a 5-star review on iTunes or find us on the YouTubes, the iHeartRadios, or anywhere else you can find a podcast. Maybe next time we'll have a little more succinct show.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I think we'll be a little better prepared.
I mean, there was all kinds of comic news and stuff.
Yeah.
Especially with New York City Comic Con, although there wasn't a whole lot of news.
Yeah.
I'm kind of fed up with talking about the same shit. I feel like we talk about a lot of the same shit every week.
Mm-hmm,
and I want to try to find different news stories. I just need to find new places to mine. And I mean, people probably listen to us at this point. We have a nerdy bent. People who are going to listen to us because we talk about comics news and movie news and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And that's not going to change, but also for my sanity, I need to find some different stories.
Yeah, well, it's like we did the Voynich manuscript.
Yeah, and exactly. I want to kind of do more stuff like that.
Yeah, I agree. I think we should do some more stuff like that too. Yeah, every once in a while. Or
because there's only
once or
so
twice
much
a
of
month.
there's only so much of a shit I can give about new Batman news. You know what I mean?
Right, exactly.
Like Batman was spotted in a gray cape on the movie set. Okay, I don't care. I don't care at all.
All right.
There's
That's
that
it.
positivity to end it.
There you go. So until next week, Ogres, keep your gloves of blood.
And your tusks sharp.
Good night. Well, you know, if it's a short episode, it's a short episode.
Okay.
We can get shit.
I tried to look for stuff, but it's all like normal news that I don't care to talk about. Like you said, like the Harvey Weinstein thing. I think we'd be better off staying away from talking about sexual assault on the podcast typically.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, we're just doing audio, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
No, we're going out live right now.
To our 10 million listeners?
To Twitch, yep.
Okay.
And I just recently got off the horn with Twitch. I said, you know, this is going to be a real bang-up episode. So I need you to just go ahead and feature us on the homepage.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we're not anymore now.
Okay, yeah.
It looks like I just got 100,000 emails. hateful emails.
We actually got moved to the Chinese knockoff Smitch.io.
Yeah, that's stupid.
You're stupid. Shut up, Rim. Okay, I have one news story. One
singular
story
sensation.
Every little Rim he takes.
Ba-da-da-da-da-da.
Wait, this isn't UK only, is it?
Oh, no.
What?
You're just the worst.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure
you
am,
know.
bud. Sure am, bud.
Sure am.
These are all fucking British.
What
shit.
the fuck? Nobody cares about the Brits.
Oh, wait, no, here's an American one. Here's an important one.
There you go. That's where we're important.
Boy, there's a bunch of shit embedded. I hope it starts playing.
Yay!
Yay! I can bring 2 of my friends.
I can bring 2 of my ads. Yay!
I'm gonna have to watch that after we stop recording.
Star Wars.
Oh yeah, Star Wars trailer.
Porged Thursday evening.
Porged?
Yeah.
We're going porged.
We're going porged. We're going full porg.
Go ahead and share your screen and let's watch that trailer one more time.
Fuck you, I already watched it.
It's been a while since I've watched it.
I watched it literally while I was waiting on you.
I didn't. I pooped. I ate cereal and pooped.
God damn it, Brandon. Everything you do is my
poop.
love.
I feel like you went in a different direction there than I expected.
Yeah.
Well, my hair is pretty fucking stupid.
It's pretty adorbs. It's straight adorbs.
Share the screen. Fuck you.
I saw raw,
Untamed power. And beyond that.
something truly special.
Something inside me has always been there. But now it's awake. And I need help.
I've seen this raw strength only once before. It didn't scare me enough then.
It does now.
Let the past die.
Let the past die.
Kill it.
Let the past die.
Let the past die.
If you have to.
Is that a tattoo on his face?
No. That's where he got sliced. He's still healing from the slice.
Oh.
Bye, Mom.
So Carrie Fisher got some of this movie recorded before she died, right?
Yeah.
This is not going to go the way you think. Fulfill your destiny.
I need someone to show me my place in all this.
Okay, here. Come with me. Let's go.
Come with me. If you want to live.
Come on, Star Wars. Dark
Star
side,
Wars.
let's go.
Star Wars. Star Wars.
Come join me in these Star Wars.
Come join the dark side.
Come. Was she a great big fat person?
Quit typing. We can hear you typing.
Well, I'll keep typing because I have things to type.
Well,
I'm so busy. I'm always typing, Remington.
I'm your Venus. I'm your fire. It's your desire.
I'm sorry.
Are you done?
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Don't be sorry. Just be
Naked.
obscene. Whoa. Obscene, naked. Yeah, kind of works.
Don't be sorry. Be naked.
Okay, here we go. Only I can do it.
Why can't I do it too?
Because mine's better.
Okay, I'm sorry.
I have fatter hands.
Fair enough.
You get a more precise clap out of them. You son of a bitch. You fucking, you whore bastard. How dare you take my smacks?
How dare you take my smacks?
How dare you take my sugar smacks? You're tearing me apart, Lisa!
Jesse Starcher of which podcast does he do? Source Material. Yep. Jesse Starcher
of Source Material?
No, I was going to give it a pause so there'd be a blank spot for you to edit.
Oh no, I can edit out. You're good. Just
no.
Jesse Starcher of Source Material. Go ahead.
Jesse Starcher Source Material. Go ahead, Brandon. Just fucking go. Just fucking do it, Brandon. You piece of shit. Just go.
Get it.